Yeah, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars and a mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.
Boys, we are in episode 16 of what some are calling the fastest growing podcast in the country.
This is the episode that...
By what metric you choose to decide to use,
this is the episode that everybody wanted and nobody asked for.
Yeah, there was a rumor going around that you guys are getting a contract with Spotify.
Listen, we've always told ourselves that 30 million is the floor to get us to go to your platform.
That's fair. There was a former Ashton friend of ours that was telling everybody that you guys were getting a Spotify contract.
Hey, listen, spread the rumor. Fake it till you make it.
We didn't make the top 100 podcast list, though, but neither did Joe Rogan. So this is the list is a sham.
So that's right. So we are in the same breath of Pardon My Take and the Joe Rogan Experience, as none of us are top 100 podcasts, right? And I feel like all three are a huge miss.
Do you
not?
Has it only been to 16 though? I feel like you guys have been doing this for a long time.
I don't know if that's a compliment
we have
or
some
not.
live shows that don't count as the episode number and stuff like that.
That's fair.
And we're going every other week, so 16. It turns out to be 32 weeks of the year. So
I do eagerly wait for them. I do eagerly wait for the episodes to come out. Yeah.
You should, absolutely. You hear him talking. You see him on the video. We've brought in the man who is he our first? No, he's our second post-Stogies Award winner guest. Martello was on first after winning the Pipe and Pint via Casa de Monte Cristo Employee of the Year Award.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We have the
honorary Pipe and Pint
award for most likely to change jobs. And correct me if I'm wrong, you have subsequently switched jobs since winning that award.
I have. No, actually, no, wait. I won that award a week after changing jobs.
But I think a week after you went to Davidoff, right? Or am I wrong in that? Have you subsequently then switched to Laudisi in that meantime?
I'm not even sure anymore.
No,
they kind of like blend together.
So for those who don't know, Mr. Franklin Kleckner, thank you for joining us. I asked you before this what you want to be referred to as, and you said glorified secretary, which may or may not be true. But
or supreme leader.
You are, in fact, national sales manager. Is that an accurate description?
Yes.
For corporate Laudisi, correct?
Yep. Laudisi Caldwell. Yes, sir.
So we're going to get into a bunch of things, but tell everybody who doesn't know what Laudisi is.
So Laudisi Enterprise.
And hold the microphone close enough so everybody hears you.
We're a bit of a conglomerate, I guess. We do primarily pipes. We have smoking pipes, Cornell Diehl. We own Peterson. And last year we bought Caldwell. And so we're making a push towards the cigar side as well. And so we dabble in a little bit of everything.
Yeah. We are a customer of Laudisi. We buy our Peterson pipes, our Savinelli pipes, our Rossi pipes, Cornell Diehl pipe tobacco comes from you guys. And so we're familiar with the company. Also has a retail store in Little River, South Carolina, right?
Yeah, Low Country Pipe and Cigar, which I don't know how true it is, but I was told the reason we have that is Sykes, the founder and owner, kind of pioneered online pipe retail.
That's right. SmokingPipes.com is their online outlet.
And because he was the one pioneering it, no one really took it seriously in and of itself. And so he had to have a brick and mortar location to get these accounts that he wanted to retail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Like the manufacturer wouldn't take him seriously as just an online resource, or like we need a store for us to sell to you. Interesting. That goes to show you at least at the time. When was that?
I want to say that was 2000.
Okay, so still.
I was about to say, I think they've been around about as long as.
It shows you a little bit of the lag and vision that is the. I mean, this is pipe, but we'll call it pipe cigar industry. Like the entrenched in like
RTDA and IPCPR was still a thing, so pipes were still included in the old PCA conglomerate here.
Yeah, because like as I understand it, the online cigar side, they all kind of jumped on it at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas pipes really wasn't a thing. And so I'm not sure if the cigar companies viewed it any differently, but the pipe side was a little bit more skeptical.
Sure.
And so, yeah, he opened a brick and mortar location for that. And then he ran everything out of that one building for years.
Do you think that's because the customer historically who purchases pipes, maybe based on their perceived age, is later to adopt the online piece of it, or because we do find that pipe, we describe it, Ethan will tell you, describe it pipes as a personal purchase, and the feel and touch of a pipe is important, like how it feels in your hand, your mouth, and
I remember,
whatever. Do you think?
I remember Larry, a note on this. I remember Larry telling me that the reason that he didn't like selling pipes on eBay is because he did for a little bit, but then people would message him and say, hey, what's the dimensions of the ball? What's the depth of the ball? And he was having to send multiple pictures and measurements to these people, but it was because of what you just said. Pipes are personal. People want to know how it feels in the hand and whatnot. So it's a very tough business, and I get it. I would be the same way if I was spending, especially a couple $100 on a pipe. Like, I'd want to know exactly what I was buying. So I can only imagine how hard it was to establish that and not just pull your hair out, honestly.
Yeah. And in that aspect, one thing that Sykes really made his name on is that he was the first one to not only take it to a national, international level, but every pipe you buy, the picture is actually that pipe. And so it was as intimate knowledge as you could get for the specific thing you were looking at.
Yeah.
That was available.
So I mean,
I did not realize
you mean
that.
literally, like if the pipe I purchase, the picture is of that pipe, not just a replicated version of that pipe, but is the actual pipe that's going to come to me.
Yeah.
I had no,
Interesting.
so I'd always wondered why when I went on. You're all right.
good.
No, it's okay. Technical difficulty. Pause. I'd always wondered though why when like you go to smokingpipes.com, because I'll go look up a pipe number or pipe whatever.
There's multiples.
There's multiples, and it's like this is a Peterson Sherlock whatever, you know,
Yeah.
3B, and there's like 5 of them on there. It's like, why is it not just?
So if you click on them, you can tell there's a different grain on each one.
No kidding.
Yeah. Our marketing department, when I first saw it, blew my mind how big it was and how many people we had taking photos all day.
Yeah.
That's why.
That makes sense.
Is smokingpipes.com the legitimate highest grossing or most sailed online resource for pipes?
100%.
100%.
We were pretty confident in stating that Smoking Pipes is the single most important retail resource for the pipe industry.
Yeah.
I was about to say the crazy thing about it is like, as a retailer, it's such a weird thing because it is competition, right?
Yep.
Like, it's certainly competition from the standpoint of we're competing against you to sell these pipes, but at the same time, I go to smokingpipes.com as a reference more than anywhere else. And it's also like, y'all do estate pipes, and so anytime someone contacts us about, hey, I've got estate pipes I want to sell, we send them to Smoking Pipes because y'all have the best estate buying program too. I mean,
and I think there's two productive perspectives that are also very accurate, which is that with the reach we have, we're helping maintain pipes as a strong industry. And two is that pipe smokers, or pipe buyers, I should say, are much more impulsive than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
Which is why you guys do so well with
I
it.
agree.
Yep.
No.
Now, the key there is rotating inventory, right? Which you guys do.
Yep.
And so you captivate like that impulsive, window shopper who then becomes a customer, whereas online is more of a destination.
Yep.
And so I think there's a lot to be said about it being a mutually beneficial ecosystem.
Yeah, I've never thought about that because if someone comes into our store looking for a Peterson Drac bent whatever, and all we have is a straight pipe, or we don't have the exact pipe they're looking for, but they want the rusticated, but we have the smooth or something like that, a lot of times they will buy what we have available.
Yeah.
Whereas I have to imagine if they're looking specifically for a 7LE Roma Lucite 320 KS and it's not available on your website, they're not going to buy another 7L just because the pipe that they want is out of stock. I bet they probably go look at other websites to see if they can find that pipe.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like cigars, right? Not a one-to-one example, but like an Opus guy. If you don't have Opus, you're probably not going to buy anything. Or they'll buy a Fuente. But generally speaking, if you had... So something kind of funny. The shops who claim that they have no market for pipes and that the ones who dispute the idea that pipe smokers are very impulsive in their purchasing, they'll have like 4 pipes in stock.
Yep.
Whereas if you have a selection and you're going to catch your eye on something, you can make that sale. And so, yeah, it's very fascinating. And like my background being in cigars, I'm learning a ton. But the consumer habits and patterns definitely do carry over in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. The other interesting thing, and this is kind of where your new job comes into play. Laudisi made their name on pipes, right? Buying Peterson Pipes, distributing. I think y'all are the distributor of 7L, aren't you?
Yep.
Then we find out that Caldwell has been purchased by Laudisi, a company that's not known for
Cigars.
They sell cigars, like Smoking Pipes sells cigars on their website.
Yeah, but unfamiliar with distro and ownership and everything
correct.
like that. Yeah.
And so, and the other interesting thing about it is, like, I feel like the purchase of Caldwell happened at the same time that Forged was really coming about, and General was buying up a lot of companies and whatnot.
I think it was around the time that General bought Alec Bradley.
Right. So it almost felt
it was
like,
almost immediately after, right?
Yeah. It was like, okay, so Laudisi's now, are they the next big thing, right? Like, are they the next big conglomerate that's coming? I don't know. I just thought the whole thing's been interesting.
I get that question a lot, like, oh, like, who are you going to buy next? Any other brands on the horizon? And I will say that it's not something we plan to do, and I think you would appreciate this. We look at opportunities that present themselves. We don't go looking to spread our attention too thin. And so we have Caldwell now. We're focusing on Caldwell. We're trying to make it stronger than ever. When things are rocking and rolling, if there's an opportunity that will present itself, then never say never. But it's not something we're actively going out looking to expand into.
All right, well, before we go too deep into that, you brought us Caldwell's to smoke.
I did.
So I want to start smoking mine. You guys have already lit yours up, but tell me what we're all smoking the same thing, correct?
Yep.
Tell me what we're smoking.
Yeah. So we're having the Long Live the Queen. The original version, which is this one, is a Cameroon wrapper, Indonesian binder, Dominican Nicaraguan filler. And what I would say is the distinctive note about it is that as a Cameroon, it does have that sweetness to it, but it's not overwhelming. It's more of a nuance, not the primary profile.
I like it. Yeah. So one of my questions for you was going to be, who is your favorite shop that doesn't carry Caldwell that you visit the most often, and why is it the Pipe and Pint? Because obviously I feel like any of our listeners who are customers are going to be like, hey, do you guys carry Caldwell? And I'm going to give the Franklin answer here. Never say never. Opportunity's got to present itself. But it felt wrong to not smoke it while we had you on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to ask you to be on the podcast, the least we can do is represent what you represent.
I kind of thought about making you guys smoke a pipe.
Oh, wow.
I'd have smoked a pipe if you'd have brought the new Sun Bear.
That's an episode. That's actually an episode we should do.
Yeah.
We should replicate.
We should have Walker Texas Whalen on
the
here.
Laudisi Smoke a Pipe for Idiots pamphlet.
We should have
That's a great idea.
That comes from Laudisi, right? You
Yeah,
guys,
that's-
have you ever seen this?
that's a
You
good
know what I'm
idea.
talking about. So anybody's bought a pipe or would buy a pipe from us gets the How to Smoke a Pipe for Dummies pamphlet, and it works great.
we could have a pipe and a pint at the Pipe and
Oh
Pint.
my God.
We could have a pig in a blanket.
Pipe guys,
in
be
a
on the
blanket.
lookout for a future episode, because if you want to see me struggle with something, it's smoking a pipe, my friend.
Dude, do you own a pipe?
I do, yeah. I love the idea of pipes. I like the look. I like the craftsmanship. I like everything about them. But from a time standpoint, they get lost to me.
You gotta make time for a pipe.
I don't disagree at all. I do need to make time for a pipe.
You can change.
I can change. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. So, we're smoking this Caldwell. And so while we're doing that, we're kind of on the topic. Tell me a little bit about what the inroads have been for you guys when it comes to Caldwell. So I would think that the general perception of your company is of the pipe realm, right? Like if a Laudisi rep comes into your shop,
It's the pipe guy.
it's the pipe guy. That's right. And there's nothing wrong with that. You guys, like, we love you guys and we do that business. Do you find it, because you come from a traditional cigar sales rep role for the last, how old were you? How long have you been in the cigar industry?
I've been
From beginning to end, like,
in the industry for 12 years.
so 12
and
years,
I've been repping full time for 7.
7. What were you doing in that time between the first 5 years, let's say?
I was actually at Rocky for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Septimo for 14 months, and then Davidoff,
Yep.
and now Laudisi.
But before you went to Rocky,
Yeah.
what were you doing in the industry before that?
So before that, I brokered part time in college.
Yep.
And
Didn't you work with Bob Morse?
You did work for Bob Morris, the
Bob
great Bob Morris.
Prep school roommate. Yeah.
I was unaware.
Oh, well, now you know.
No, I'm fully aware. Shout out Bob Morris, who I can promise he was not listening to this podcast.
No, he probably doesn't remember our names.
Yeah, he does not know who we are.
I love
That's fine.
that guy though.
He's a super
Yeah,
good
he's a
guy.
good dude.
Super
Good dude.
great guy.
Which is actually how I know Terrence too from back then.
Correct.
We did Casada.
Because that's right.
Oh.
So you spent all that time, even in the part-time and then up through LSEP and Davidoff, from that traditional cigar side, right? Like,
Although I will say one caveat:
okay,
when Bob retired and I had my own brokerage for a year, 2 years, we did Moonshine Pipe Company,
okay,
and so I had a very vague familiarity with kind of like what people want to talk about, want to know. Very different from the cigar side. So it wasn't completely foreign, but I'm definitely seeing more of the nuances now in terms of how you operate and the conversations that you might have.
yeah. And at Rocky,
So-
you guys Rocky had a line of pipes, at least for a
yeah.
period of time that you tried to hawk on us for a while there.
Yeah, I tried like all of one.
So my question is, have you guys found when you're talking to broker, how many brokers across the country, or not brokers, excuse me, how many reps do you manage over across the country?
So we have 7 now.
Okay. So when you're talking to those 7 guys who I assume were with the company prior to generally speaking, to the acquisition of Caldwell,
So
right?
We had 4 of them.
Okay.
Prior. Yep.
Do they find it more difficult to broach the cigar subject because of the perception of them coming in as being the pipe guys, and the shop owners wanting to talk pipe and pipe tobacco with them? They find it harder to inroad with the cigars.
There is an inherent challenge in switching the conversation over. And so yes, and a short answer would be I think there is a learning curve there, and they're all doing a phenomenal job, but it's more so what the customer wants to talk about, not my reps.
Right.
And so the irony of that being is, as a smaller boutique brand, the biggest challenge is getting FaceTime with the buyer or the owner, right? Being the authority on pipes, it's a lot easier to get that time in now, but it doesn't really change the fact that people who don't want to talk about cigars really don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about pipes only. And so walking that fine line of doing our job in selling and, kind of guiding the conversation in that direction, but also not being overly pushy is a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at least for our territory specifically, and I know you had a big hand in this, you hired someone very good to take over the territory for Laudisi once y'all shifted up the sales team, because we had great reps for Laudisi before in Kaz and Joel. But when Waylon came on, he already had a familiarity with cigars, and he had relationships established with cigar shops that he had been selling cigars to. And so for him, it was coming in, and he was a little bit of a pipe smoker, but learning the pipes and pipe tobacco and everything. And now when we see Waylon, he's probably the most well-versed rep in both.
Yeah.
And it's very natural, in my opinion, for him to have conversations about both, which is been interesting to see because I'd only talked to Waylon about cigars for the longest time.
And
So Waylon is primarily a pipe guy now.
I know, it's
Right, so
fascinating.
that's an interesting. Have you found it easier to bring your pipe-centric reps up to speed on selling cigars versus Waylon comes from cigars, generally speaking, to my, all I know him of.
And wrestling.
To bring him up, to bring
Hey,
him up
brother.
to speed on the pipe angle. Obviously, he is the world heavyweight champion or something along those lines. To my, maybe
I think he's
he might be
featherweight now,
Intercontinental
actually.
Championship,
Yeah.
featherweight.
I think he may have lost his belt to Spotlight Scotty Brooks the other day. I don't know.
Did that ever happen?
He got mugged.
Yeah, it happened.
Did it really?
Yeah, I don't think they wrestled for a belt, but it happened.
Yeah. Well, I got to make a point to see one of these one time. But is it easier?
They're
have you
weirdly
found
fun.
it harder to bring the pipe guys into cigars or the cigar guys into pipes?
So you would think that with my background, it'd be easier to get the pipe guys to understand
The
cigars.
Yeah.
Shockingly, it's been the other way around.
Really? Okay.
And here's the reason why. And it's a theory. It's a running theory. Pipes are more factual. You need to know, why does one pipe cost $100 more than the other one? What is a system? What is a spigot? How do I upsell step by step and bring more value to you, right? And I gotta know, what are the different blends of tobaccos? Like, what is an English? What is aromatic? Pretty straightforward, factual. It's like selling a car.
Yeah.
The customer walks in knowing what they want, and your job is to upsell them and be a reliable source for them, but really they kind of know what they want. Whereas on the cigar side, you have to have an inherent enthusiasm. And so I tell everyone, on the pipe side, it's all about training. Make sure that everyone knows how to represent the industry and our brands properly and upsell. On the cigar side, you have to be able to transfer enthusiasm. And so we've hired 3 new reps in my time. And the number one question is, like, what is their energy like? Like, when they're walking into the store, like, are you going to look through the window and see them and go, oh, God, that guy again? Or is it be like, oh, like, it's Waylon from
Right.
Laudisi, right? And so having enthusiasm is something that you really can't teach. And because cigars are more reliant on that, I find that teaching how to sell a pipe is a lot easier than cigars.
Outside looking in, I feel like the pipe, I don't want to say easier to sell, but there's more, I don't even know what the right word is, but there's more factuality about a pipe. Like,
Yeah.
here it is. It's this style.
Yeah, less subjective.
Correct. Less objective. That's very
Yeah.
right. It's very much, this is what it is. This is the bowl. This is the styling. Do you like this? Do you have customers who prefer that styling?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it feels like or shop owners know the style that their customer demands, and it makes it a little bit easier to sell on that. And with the physical, product in front of them, obviously, cigars are a physical product that you put in front of everybody too, but it's a smoking situation. It's a subjective situation. There's far fewer mainstream names in the pipe game.
Yeah.
I mean, you control the top 2 in the world, to my knowledge, unless there's something I'm missing. I
Yeah.
would think
Like-
Savinelli and Peterson have to be in. I mean, you guys tell me different. That's got to be the 2 top brands
They're-
in the world.
I
let
mean,
alone the
gotta
country.
be, right?
Yeah.
At least in the premium realm.
They're definitely 2 of the top 4.
Yeah, and that's what I mean,
right?
in the premium realm.
Because then you have Savinelli, Peterson, and then I don't know, but I would guess that Chacombe and Nording are up there. Or at least Nording in the U.S. market is pretty prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still
And
feels.
so,
When people come in the Pipe and Pint, even when they don't know that all we carry is really Peterson and Savinelli and Rossi,
Yep.
that's what they come in and ask for.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very rare that they come in and ask for something else,
Well, it's the
even
reason,
if it's a
the
Nording or a
reason we
Shocombe.
predominantly carry Peterson, Savinelli, and
Rossi.
Rossi is because just the overall consensus from the customer was that's what we got. That's what we got asked about all the time.
Yeah.
And it was a clear definition of what needed to be done. And we still have, different handmaids from,
Caminetta and
yeah, and small off
local guys like Jeff
Payne and
Yeah.
everything like that.
And you
But-
guys have Ronaldo, right?
We used to. The guy that repped Ronaldo for the area retired, and we don't have access to
Oh
him
man,
anymore.
dude, he does.
Steve Monjour.
He does beautiful work though.
Yeah, he
his
does.
sandblasting is on the money.
Ronaldo's are really nice.
Yeah.
Have you found it hard for yourself to be able to coach up the pipe side because of your, I won't say unfamiliarity with it, but when you spend the last 12, 13 years talking cigars all the time, you hone that technique, that information, and now you're tasked with kind of then teaching guys from the ground up who may not be familiar with it.
So it hasn't been an inherent challenge in that we have a very interactive team. So I will say, whenever you go to any kind of team, there's a courtesy of like, hey, give me a call if you need anything, XYZ, whatever. Our team actually does that. And it's been the most gratifying thing to watch the veteran guys like really take the new guys under their wings and coach them on how to do very specific parts of their job. And so a lot of it wasn't really made or broken with me. My focus has really more been on just business practices, right? It's not so much how do you sell a pipe better, but it's more how do you become a more reliable partner for our retailers, which there's a lot of cross-pollination between pipes and cigars for that. And so I take more of a step back on the things that I'm not that familiar with, and I'm learning a ton. My Northeast rep is a pipe wizard. He can tell you like every blend we have in Cornell Diehl.
Is that Kaz?
No, all the Kaz's are very good too. But
I was about to say Kaz is all. Kaz and Joel are all we know, and Kaz.
Yeah.
I still call Kaz when I have
any
very
pipe question,
specific, random, weird pipe questions. So that's no offense to you or Waylon, but like
no, you should call
Kaz
Kaz.
is love that guy.
Kaz is the man.
Yeah,
And he's like the nicest guy.
yeah, super nice guy.
But,
Best dresser in the industry.
oh my god,
There's a Stogie Award.
dude, we should
Best dressed.
we should put
Kaz has
him and
had a
Hercloss up
lot.
against each other.
Huh.
We should put him and Hercloss against each other for a.
Oh, her class
that is a good-
too. They're very different styles.
Yeah.
Sorry, Herclots, that I forgot about that. Yeah,
w- one's more
different
warlocky,
style?
the other
Yeah,
one's more.
one's Gothic Americana. One's like
yeah. They're
New
on
York.
the same. If you do those charts, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
plus side,
yeah.
and it's like very this but little of that.
Yeah.
They're on the same side of it, but one's at the top of it, one's at the bottom.
That's
of it.
right.
One's in the more
Yeah.
dark. One's in the other, the upper Manhattan side.
I love Hercloss to death. He's a phenomenal guy.
Yep.
But Kaz's hair game is really hard to beat, though.
His hair game, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I had that kind of confidence to ride.
If I had the willpower to dedicate time every morning to do that,
First of all, you got to have the hair. That's just something you got to be born with.
dude. I mean, you're hanging in there pretty well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not bad for 50.
So, interesting question. I'd like to know the answer to. You spent up until this job as a rep with a national sales manager, quote unquote, breathing over your neck and giving you a hard time and wanting to know where you're at. Did you visit this? Do you take your disdain from being coached like that over the years to this job with you? And then you're like, I'm not going to be like that guy. Or have you gotten to the other side and realized these fucking sales reps need to get their ass over there and do what they're supposed to be doing?
I was fortunate that in my rep roles, I didn't really have management that breathed over my back like that. But really the best example I have is Evan from Davidoff was like the blueprint of how to do it to me.
Yeah.
And he very much embodied like, I'm here to help you get better mentality. And so it wasn't so much like, let me help you. It was never like, I'm going to do your job for you or try to mold you into like what I want you to be. It's more, I'm going to just help you improve on certain things that you do every day. And so kind of trying to mimic that a little more. All my guys have a very different style, different time management skills and different organizational skills. And there was a temptation in the beginning or a challenge of like, I can't relate to how you're doing this, so I want you to do it my way. And then quickly realizing that that is just not productive. And so it's more trying to...
I would think just kind of in the retail world as well, everybody has their own style.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably up to you then to help help that style become successful, right?
Yeah.
Like work within. Don't necessarily try to coach your rep up to do it as you are, but to help what you do with what that rep does well.
Oh yeah, and the first 4 months of my job was spent trying to get FaceTime with everybody and get a better idea of how they operate. And so I quickly realized it's a fool's errand to try and like mold someone into what they're not, or like a different way of doing things when what they're doing is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Rather, it's more trying to better understand it. And what's funny is my job, if I were to boil it down to one thing, is my job is to help find the blind spots for my team. And I think that's much more of a backseat operation. But it's just like, maybe we can do this a little differently or that a little better. Have we considered doing it this way? And so to answer your question in a very long way, I am doing my best to not be a micromanager.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody has very much success being a micromanager.
No,
and I don't think anybody who's underneath that gets any much success by being micromanaged. Like, you want to give people enough rope to do it their own style, but unfortunately sometimes they hang themselves with it. That's the reality of being in that kind of position or owning a business. There's some certain expectations, like you're paid to do this work, like you're supposed to be doing it, and you hope there's enough self-starting, driven personality there. But unfortunately, you can coach up all you want, but some people are just born with the ability to do that, and some just it's just not where they belong.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys are a prime example because you were at the Pipe and Pint before Jason took over as the owner, and I'm sure you coming in was more, have we considered doing it these other ways for these reasons? And so kind of meeting in the middle, right?
I think I had ways I wanted things done, certainly, that were different than ones done before, but I think that I don't think anything was too radical.
I think all the things that changed were things that needed to change a long time ago to bring it into the future
and
almost.
I think change maybe is a bad word, more so as
progression.
As progress or evolve.
Evolution.
Right.
That's a good word. Yeah.
The store needed to be brought into the digital age. We needed to be able to track inventory. We needed to be able to
Did you have
not
a POS
have to remember
before?
pricing. No, we had no. We remembered the pricing in our head, or went into the humidor.
You guys memorized the
and
pricing.
typed it into an
Old
old Casio.
Did you have a
cash
website?
No, there was, but it was strictly
it looked like a
information.
MySpace page from 2008.
Yeah, strictly information.
HTML, like.
Huh.
Yeah.
And COVID is really what kicked us into redoing the website. We operated as it was for a little while. It added some viability to it, but when COVID hit and we had to, because that was not too long after, it was basically a year later, we needed to be able to have a sustainable way for customers to see what we had and then potentially purchase for shipping and store pickup when, the COVID spacing rules, if you will, were in place.
Is the store pickup where like you pull up and you bring it out to them, like, is that still a pretty prominent service?
We have maybe
or?
1 or 2 store pickup orders a month, probably, and that's about it.
I thought it'd be a lot higher. I don't know why.
It was during the COVID times. It was, but with 5 stores and kind of covering the space, we're pretty close to our customer base at any given point in time, where they kind of stop in at their leisure. But we have plenty. We shipped out something yesterday to a customer who is a regular for years, who came in always, buys pipe tobacco, buys Peterson pipe tobacco. That's what the Elizabethan is. 5 tins at a time. He's moved away to a little bit farther away than stopping in, and we ship that stuff to him, no problem.
Would you ever consider a drive-through window?
Dude, we've talked about this so many times.
Like,
Jokingly.
you guys have a window.
yeah, because we'd have to move the AC
Yeah.
unit. We jokingly have talked about that a lot.
But that
I
window
don't
is
think-
making you guys no money.
yeah. That is a very unprofitable window at the moment.
you can really maximize that
You could,
that square footage.
and I can think of about a dozen people who are customers who would make the decision to put in a drive-through an absolute miserable one. who their time that they would spend loitering over the counter would then be spent loitering in their car window in the air conditioning, talking through the window. Yeah. I'd much rather walk it outside to them and throw it through their car window.
That's fair. That's fair.
So when we kind of had the idea of doing this podcast, it was the idea of a day in the life of a cigar rep. Now, obviously, you have gone on to bigger and better
So much
things.
better than a cigar
right,
rep now.
Right, Mr. National
Shout
Sales
out to
Manager.
cigar rep.
But the one thing I wanted to talk to you about is there's this misconception in the industry, especially from people who have never been in the industry.
This is going to be based off a statement that
That a statement that
Ethan
was made to
recently
me.
got.
Yep. So someone came into the store, I won't say names, that knew of Aganorsa and knew that the Aganorsa rep was leaving. And they said to me, I'm thinking about applying for the job. It sounds pretty cool. All you get to do is ride around and smoke cigars all day in your car and see people.
Oh, dude, it's like being a retailer. You just sit around and smoke cigars all day.
Right. So there's this obvious misconception. And don't get me wrong, there are probably some reps that we have that do just ride around and smoke cigars all day.
And like
On a
he said,
productive
it's
day.
just like
Yeah.
a retailer. They're just not reps and or retailers for very long.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. One point that I wanted to make to something you said earlier, I feel like a good cigar rep treats their territory like their own business. Right? They have their own relationships. They know their territory really well. They know their business really well. And they treat it like such. And those are the ones that last, right? Instead of the people who, like we're talking about, just ride around, dick around, smoke cigars all day, hang out at their 3 favorite shops, and don't do anything, right? Aren't productive with their meetings. The last thing they want to talk about is business. They just want to go sit down and smoke somewhere. So what, for the people that don't know, does a day in a life of a cigar rep, or a week or a month, or however long you think the span needs to be to get them a good understanding of what being a cigar rep is really look like?
And I would say the day like of a successful.
Successful
Yeah.
cigar
We
rep.
consider you a successful
No.
cigar rep because you
Yeah. Thank
you.
are. And we tease you because you've changed companies. But neither of us think that you've changed companies for anything other than that you're an in-demand person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was never fired, and I'll take that all
Yeah,
day.
no, like we poke fun at it because you're
Yeah.
our friend and we did the awards and everything like that. But
I
the
think
reason
it's more of a
people-
testament that there aren't that many good cigar reps out there, so that the good ones are that
are
much
in
more
high
desirable.
demand, right? So
Yes.
you know,
I appreciate that. So there's really 2 parts to answering that question. So one is like from a 10-foot view, you're probably visiting 5 shops a day. You're being in a hotel 3 to 4 nights a week. And you're probably doing 2 events a month, right? So that's like a very simplistic view. But when you go into the shop, I think is where the difference is. A lot of people who are hanging out in the lounge think that, oh, the rep just comes in and they shoot the shit, they're friends with the owner, and that's their entire job. And the worst reps are the ones who think that being your best friend is the job. And so if I were to break it down into 5 things, I would say your job as a rep when you go into a store, all 5 times a day, is new product information and selling, merchandising, promo planning, training, and I think rapport building should be one of them too. But it's rapport building to know who you're working with and understand the business model, not to be their best friend. And I think there's a strong distinction there because I tell everyone, their best friend, so assume that the people you want to work with are busy, right?
great. Yes.
And if they're busy, you got to bring some kind of value to it. And so they have enough friends. They don't need more friends. if you make them money, you'll be their best friend. And so I think it really kind of comes down to that. You're visiting 5 shops a day, 4 or 5 days a week, and you should be doing that at every shop you go to. People only hear the rapport building part and think that's all there is to it. And there's a really good example where, I had my handful of shops that I would hang out at. Like, I would stop at and see you guys on my way to Charlotte all the time. But that wasn't a work call. That was to come see you guys.
Yeah.
And so people see that and think that I'm doing my job and that is my job.
Right.
Whereas you guys know, like when we were talking about work stuff, it was very different from just hanging out and having a cigar, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Hanging out.
it's that I think it's a wonderful way to treat it, because if you're in any sort of position where you're calling on a customer, you're cold calling or stopping by for the first time, or any time for that matter, if you're going to have a successful business relationship and you treat it as if they're busy, they should be busy, right?
Yeah.
Like you want, in this instance, stores or shops that you're selling to be busy.
Yeah.
That suggests that they're selling product, and you want to then, how do I get my product to be part of this cycle?
Yeah. Yeah, like if I had a list of shops to choose from, I would not want to go to the one where the guy was doing everything he could to do nothing. Right? I want to go to the guy who's finding ways to be busy and productive, because that
Agreed.
shows me that it gives me an avenue to bring value to you.
Yeah,
If you don't want to do anything, I can't help you.
that's right.
If you don't,
What's
if
your,
you don't want to do it.
we're going to stay kind of on this topic a little bit, is your strategy as a sales guy prior and now managing other sales guys. Obviously, in any sales position, the biggest hurdle is the no hurdle, right? Like, I've heard no, no. Is getting past that as a salesperson, like learning to accept that that's just something that happens. But if you're coming in, you're coming into the Pipe and Pint for the first time or second time, but don't know each other the way we know each other, what's your approach? When I say no, I don't know your brand, I don't know your room. What's your go-to? What's the Franklin move? You know what I mean? Is it the spin move? Is it the up and under that says
Twirl.
like, hey,
It's the bow. Hate the twirl.
the swirl, the twirl, yeah. That you use, or that's your favorite, to kind of your hook. What's your shtick when you're selling to people?
My preferred method is one I learned during my time at El Septimo, which people don't believe me when I say it, but I do mean it. I would open cold calls with, I need 2 minutes of your time.
Sure.
And they're kind of like, well, I'm a dick if I say no to that, so okay. But like,
Yeah.
literally, like, I'm not going to talk to you about football for an hour. Like, I need 2 minutes. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know.
Yep.
And then you make an informed decision.
Yep.
Right? So carrying that over to Caldwell, let's say, I think people fall into the trap of, oh, like, we're just like XYZ. You're doing well with, let's say, Dominicans. We're Dominican. All right. So now you're one of a million. Great. And so people unintentionally make the pitch that you should be selling our product instead of XYZ. What we're trying to do at Caldwell is carve a spot in the market to say, here's what you can sell our products along with and why. And so a good example, Long Live the Queen, Cameroon, and San Andreas. We tell everyone who's buying a Hemingway from you should buy one of these as well. And keywords being as well, because they'll enjoy it as much in a very different way. And so it does two things. One, now we're trying to be a partner. But two, we're trying to help you make more money. If you move $1 from here to there, you don't make any more money, but you invested in more inventory. So arguably, you have an opportunity cost there. Whereas if we can help train staff and inform everyone in a way to say, here's how you grow your sales marginally, now we bring a unique value. And so I think it's about finding how we can fit into being an added on value. Or if there's an opening, you have no Dominican cigars, and that's an easy one. But we try to go about it in a more practical way and not so much a competitive way.
Do you, when your reps say like, listen, I'm just not gaining traction, right? Like I'm hitting this barrier.
Yeah.
What do you say to those guys? Like, there should never be this give up on it, but there's obviously a certain level of time and effort that has to be spent, for which they could be spending on other things, other accounts.
So if it's an account that we don't work with, so you guys will be doomed to hear the Caldwell gospel forever because you're a Laudisi account.
Yeah.
But if you weren't an account, I do believe in the 3-time rule. You know, be professional, be courteous, bring value, but after 3 times, move on.
Yeah.
And the reason why is I don't want to beat someone into submission. If I wear you down to a point where you buy just to get rid of me, you're never going to sell it.
You're never going to be enthusiastic
you're not
about
gonna-
selling it to your customers.
you're not
going
gonna
to throw
talk
it on
about
the
it,
shelf.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And so it's like you're wait. And we've had that a few times where it's like, oh, you know, I've been going here for 2 years. They won't want to bring it in or whatever. It's like, why? There's another guy down the street. Go there.
Yep.
Maybe you'll have better luck there. But the thing is, like, 1, don't beat someone into submission, but 2, grow where you can. And as they say, the rising tide will raise all ships, right? If we as a brand grow, the shops that weren't interested might call us or
Yeah, if
have a different
suddenly the
tune,
shop
so.
2 towns over or the next state over,
Yeah.
you're losing customers because, like, oh, why do you go there? Well, I mean, listen, I get lost and found there. I get Caldwell there. They get Kerry Peterson or whatever. Suddenly it's, hey, Franklin, you know, can you come back by, show us what you got and everything like that.
And I will say, I think, and it's personalities. I think that retailers don't oftentimes do a great job of explaining to reps why the answer is no. And what I mean by that is, like, I've found more success talking with reps and building relationships with reps, especially with the reps of brands that we don't carry, of when I tell them why we're not willing to carry the product. Because a lot of times, the reason we're not willing to carry the product is because we don't have room in our humidor. And when they understand that we don't have room in our humidor, it's not that you have bad cigars.
Thank you.
Let's keep this dialogue open so that if there's a possibility in the future that we can bring stuff in, then it keeps the relationship on both sides more healthy, more positive, and it continues a working relationship without being a dick and being like, we just don't like your stuff. And sometimes you have to have those conversations too. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm specifically with like Caldwell right now. Like I'm using Caldwell as a specific example.
And it's not some like, hey, it can't fit. Like, and that's the end of it. Like, we explained very well that we work hard to curate the humidor, right? So that everything on the shelves in all of our humidors in all 5 stores sells. Some better than others, undoubtedly. That's every humidor. But there's nothing in there that's on the shelves just to placate.
No.
Right? So it's not an egotistical thing. It's a thing of, listen, if I have to carry 12 boxes of your cigars to open an account, that's what you want me to do. You're going to have to explain to me more than just, oh, people will buy it, what 12 boxes I take off the shelf to put your 12 boxes on, because those 12 boxes currently sell.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I think like in anything in life, it's important to know how to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
But that being said, to your point, not to be overly dramatic, but it's a real dick move when retailers will keep someone on the hook, not even intentionally, but it should never be like, oh, not now, maybe later. Oh, give me a call in 3 months or whatever. And it's like, we've all been doing this for a long time. We know what that means. And most reps who have been doing it for a while know what that means and know what to do with that, which is don't bother them. You know, come back after a certain amount of time's gone by. But like the newer reps will take that literally and go back in 2 or 3 months. It's like, oh, you said later, whatever. It's like, if you don't have any intention of entertaining the idea, at the very least, you shouldn't give that impression. So when I was with my rep Midwest recently, and there's a guy like, very clearly not interested, no thank you, but pipes, right? All right. Well, it's like, we should be glad at the very least that they were straightforward about it, because now we're not going to waste our time and energy on what they clearly don't want.
Yeah, I would think there's a certain level of appreciation, like,
Yeah.
if they're giving you a legitimate, like, hey, it's not something we're doing, and if we did, it wouldn't be for 6 months or a year, like, we can talk then, but don't waste your time and efforts and energy coming around.
Yeah, like at Septimo, I dealt with that a lot with like older accounts that I had, where like we're just not interested. All right, and as a rep, that was your best bet to tell me no, because if you give me any other reason, I'm gonna find a way around it. Oh, money's tight. I'll give you a 60-day term. I have no room in the humidor. I'll buy you a shelf. I can't bring in 10 facings. We'll make it 5. Like, there's always a way around it. So when you just say it's not a good fit for our shop right now,
Yeah.
is, I think, the best answer for both parties.
All right, I want to do one last Laudisi related question, then I want to separate you for the company. We'll just chop it up cigar-wise. You guys buy Caldwell in 23, 24?
24.
24? Yeah.
Oh.
Early 24. Nothing in time was in time for the trade show.
Yeah, it was
I
like
think
the week before the trade show.
Yeah, 24. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Obviously, Robert Caldwell is a known name in the cigar business. He's a interesting personality, right? He's eclectic, eccentric,
Tall.
however you want to put it. Built this brand up from the ground up, sells it to Laudisi. So there is this, we own this now, but Robert continued on with Laudisi as kind of brand management. Am I correct in saying that? And still
Yes.
does?
Yes.
At the moment. And you may not have an answer to this. This may be above you, but I would love to know what that dynamic is like. Because there's obviously, if I was in his position, there is this, they bought my company. Like,
Yeah.
they paid for it. Like, they can do essentially as they wish. But then there's that little bit of like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Like, I don't care for that. Like, have there been those type of incidences that you're aware of, or like has it been a nice transition?
It's been a very good transition, and to kind of emphasize that and like why we feel that way, we view it more as a merger rather than an acquisition.
Sure.
And how we're kind of divvying it up is that we told Robert, go do all the fun things, do marketing, do blending, everything fun you want to do, get creative.
Yeah.
We'll do everything else.
We'll handle the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think having that distinction and in responsibilities has been very productive.
How long does that last for? Do you think, though? Just like opinion wise, like I can't imagine Robert plans on sticking around doing that for the next 10 years, but maybe I'm wrong.
No one really knows, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure just one day he could wake up and be like,
he,
no,
could,
I'm
he could be like Avo
moving
and
to
do it till he
Ecuador
dies.
and I'll see y'all later. He'd be like, what?
Yeah, he could be like Avo and do it till he dies.
Is that kind of how that is?
I don't really know. I mean, we are a unique example where we're a privately held smaller company that purchased a brand, right? But if you think of any other example, who's doing that? STG, Altadis, and they have like ironclad contracts as to like what you're gonna do and for how long, right? We don't know what that is, but clearly there's a protocol in place, though.
Yep.
And so I don't think we have a very fair way to compare ourselves to any other examples. But that being said, I think we all landed where we're happy as far as our duties go. And Robert is a very creative guy.
Yeah.
Like extremely, I'm jealous of how creative he is. Like the way his mind works is very foreign to me.
And it's what he's used to separate and kind of build the brand, right? Was the creative piece, packaging, naming, the lost and found piece of it, bringing back stuff that is non-existent back to shelves and things like that.
So, like, and not to speak for him, but I would venture to guess that it's the things that make him the happiest. I would venture to guess that he'd rather be doing that than being out there pounding the road and making sales calls. Where on the flip side, that's what I thrive in. And so
We're gonna get T Sizzle on the camera before it's over today.
We are.
T-Bone.
Yeah,
Just need to get him on the podcast.
He'll
at some
make an
point.
appearance at the end of the pod.
T Money, the nicest
If
guy
you
in the
see
world.
a hand come in and snag a glass from somebody, it's T Money.
I'm being robbed by someone who didn't need much.
All right, so that covers Franklin Kleckner, the cigar industry employee.
But I'm so much more.
You're
Not really, actually.
So
So
much
much
more.
more.
I wish I
so
was.
much more.
I found out during COVID I'm really not.
Do you know what? This is the most ridiculous thing. Do you know what the most interesting fact that I've ever found out from you is?
About me or just in general?
Just a in general fact. I didn't necessarily find out from it, but you were able to corroborate something I heard from me that blew my mind.
Give me a hint.
It was from your younger days, like probably high school.
That I grew up in Korea?
No,
I, have no
I did
idea.
not know that Chick-fil-A hand fries every piece of chicken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hand battered or battered.
It batters and fries
Fried.
every legit piece of chicken in store.
Yeah.
And I saw it on something. I was like, that can't be right. This just has to be this particular store. And I asked you because you worked at Chick-fil-A in your young days, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, man, that's exactly
Dude,
how it goes. And
that-
to this day, I tell people, like, we're in Chick-fil-A line. It's like, yeah, man, you know, they do
But-
every piece like that.
There were 3 jobs that everyone dreaded, and our Chick-fil-A kind of screwed us in that way because you didn't want to be on breading duty because it's just nonstop.
Yeah, I mean,
You
that's
have
got to
7
be like, it's got to be
fryers.
like a cigar roller in the factory. Like, you just don't study.
Yeah.
The chicken just keeps coming, man.
So it was that, dishes, and dining room.
Okay.
And when I worked there,
What else does that leave, for God's sakes?
everything else is fine.
Well,
Those
what
are,
else
those
is
are the
there?
worst ones.
Drive-through, I guess?
Making sandwiches,
Okay,
fries,
gotcha.
drive-through. But yeah, we had 3 kids from like my class in high school, and one was like a very efficient chicken batterer. One was unbeatable on dishes, and I got stuck on dining room. So we all had the same job for 2 years straight. Normally you get rotated, but we had the
What's
same
the
one.
definition of dining room? Like, you're going to clean up the tables and stuff like
Yeah.
that? Gotcha.
Yeah.
They call it dining room, but it's busboy. yeah, I got you.
Well,
I got
and like,
Shit sweeper.
dude, I shit you
Hey,
not.
Kleckner, go clean that up. Hey, yeah, good.
That baby just puked over there.
yeah, go clean that shit up.
They,
Someone shit to play for you, man.
one time there was
Franklin, they shit in the playscape again. Please clean it up.
one time there was a kid that peed down the slide,
That's what I'm talking about.
and my manager, who is a good friend of mine, she had to go clean it. And,
She did just sit on some paper towels and slide down.
I'm gonna sit on this towel and just ride the slide down.
so we had someone holding her foot from the top while she
Oh
reached
my
down
gosh.
and he let go. Man, you know,
And I would assume you were fired immediately, right?
it wasn't me.
sure.
Although we had our it was like anyone's first job, it was the worst job, but we had our fair share of like pranking though. I had a trainee rotate every chair in the dining room for even wear and tear. One night.
You're just a dickhead.
my manager had 2 of the best ones of all time, like unbeatable. Across industries, unbeatable. So you know how the commercial coffee makers have the hot water spigot?
Yeah.
So that's tied to the water tank, right? Which is what, 50 gallons, give or take?
Yeah, depending. Yeah.
She had a girl empty it out over like 2 hours.
That's a lot of hot water, and it just keeps coming.
Oh man! But the girl that I had rotate the dining room chairs, though, she basically come back with an even worse one. They convinced her that to bring a trash bag into the walk-in freezer and bring out cold air. to get it circulating in the dining room.
Awesome.
That's awful.
Dude. Oh man, good times.
I wonder what that person's doing right now. They get an HVAC. This is just not efficient. I'm going to dedicate my life to
Man.
mechanical engineering
Dude.
and coming up with a better way than transporting cold air inside of a garbage bag.
Man, that is
The
like
question is, did it work? Was she able to cool
She did it like 20 times. And things like I told that story
Keep it coming.
like dozens of times, and 12 years later, I still like cry when I think about it. Like, just I cannot tell someone to do that with a straight face. Like, that's the amazing thing.
No, I was gonna say the coming up with the idea is one thing. The ability to deliver it in a real way to convince somebody is the most impressive thing of all of it.
Yeah, she was a woman of conviction.
I would say so.
Oh.
All right, so we've gone through all that stuff. I want to chop it up for a little bit. Let's just talk cigars for a little bit. So
I want to
let's do
know
cold
a
takes.
Franklin Kleckner hot take.
So that's what I was going to ask.
Oh,
You know
shit,
that
okay.
we told you that we did a hot take episode.
and you can
We
give
had
a
some-
cold take too. I know that was your idea.
Oh yeah, you came up with the cold take thing. The cold take was kind of stupid, but
You're kind of stupid. Your face is kind of stupid.
But I know you got at least one hot take in the holster that's not going to get you in trouble with your company.
Correct.
I mean, because this is the world's fastest growing podcast, so I don't want you to get in trouble. Give us. So let's start us off with this chop
A
session.
lot of good feedback from that podcast.
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
All right, I get
A lot of positive affirmation. Like it's turning out the
I've had a couple
the
people about the
takes
Dunbarton thing though. Give me a couple.
give you a little
I
hard time
agree with
about
you
it.
though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a hot
I
take
agree
if
with
nobody
you.
was giving you a hard time about it.
He does have really good cigars, but
Ethan's yet to have
as a
one.
company, I don't think they're that consistent.
No.
But if
We had somebody. I'm gonna stay on it for 1 minute, and this will be the thing. Won't name the names, but we had a discussion with somebody who agrees with us on the hot take, whose opinion on it was that you're buying more into the man than the brand. And if the man was to go away, the brand would struggle, which I found like
Yeah.
an interesting point of view on it.
which I mean, you could
I will
say that
not sell
about a
that
ton of
person.
brands, right? But like, I think a bigger problem though is that it is not a reflection on the brand at all. It's more the consumer, where there's a tendency of like conflating the entire portfolio into one opinion when you really
Yes.
can't do that.
Agreed.
Right.
So like there are plenty of Dunbarton cigars I adore. It doesn't mean I think they're the greatest brand. They have really good cigars like anyone else, and they have ones that don't really speak to me. But I'm just one consumer. You know? It's
You're
like
just one Korean man.
I'm just one Korean man, so I count for at least 2 votes. But I can't. No.
All right. Lay it
take.
on me. Give me. Let's start a chop session with one very hot, steaming pile of hot take from Franklin Kleckner.
I'm debating on saying this out loud.
Don't get yourself in trouble, though.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we're not trying to out
All
anybody.
right, I'll put this in a very politically correct way. Being a small company doesn't automatically make you boutique. I think there's been a conflation of like the two terminologies, like small and boutique, and I don't think it's a good representation of what boutique used to mean, which is like more of an emphasis on quality
And craft.
and
The craft of it. Agreed.
not just being a small company.
So give me what your, because the brand you represent, Caldwell, would be by all means defined as boutique, correct?
No.
What do you, because I agree with the take. Just because you don't have a lot of
Yeah.
cigars doesn't make you
Yeah.
boutique.
Yeah, and so in that vein, I think that we can be perceived as a boutique brand, but I don't sell it that way.
But what do you, give me kind of your top 3 trappings that you would consider a company boutique. What's a company doing right that correctly defines them as a boutique? Because I agree with you, not small doesn't make boutique, because you still
No.
need to invest time, energy, and money. Like,
So this is a purely an opinion thing. I think it's hard to make the case that you're a boutique brand if you don't have your own factory. Now people
if you don't have
yeah,
your own
now
factory.
people can say you're boutique, that's fine. It's a marketing thing. It's like saying organic, right?
I would have an argument to that point, and
I would
only
push back
only
against that as well.
one brand that really comes to mind that
Alright,
I think is
so-
boutique that doesn't have a
Wait,
factory.
you say foundation?
Warped.
Warped,
so,
yeah.
So here's why I say that. You only have so much control over the craft and the create. Let's just say craft is an overarching terminology, right? If you don't own it, you can go there, you can try blends. You can do quality control with random cigars that you pick out of the line. But like real control over craft, I don't think you have as a third-party customer and not the owner.
I think so. I would push back a little bit in the same reason I think Ethan would push back on it. So that so depends on the person and what their ability to present themselves is. I think there are people in the business who operate without a factory, but almost to the point that the factory that they operate out of is their own, in a sense. At least what they're making is their own.
I can think of one example of that.
What would that be?
Rocky and Placencia.
Okay. I think
I can think of one.
Foundation is a good example. Does Foundation have any factories of their own? So no Foundation factories.
No.
But I think that to think that he does not have control over his blending and blends.
No, blending. He does, yeah. Clearly, he does, but
And I think Warped is a good example of it.
blending.
I think.
So let me ask you this. I want to get into semantics here.
No.
Because I know you like Warped, and I know you like Foundation, so I know you're not digging at these
Oh,
guys.
no, not at all.
Would you consider them more craft cigar brands than boutique brands? Or, like, what word would you use to describe their company if you're not
If
going
you're
to
not
call
calling
them
it a boutique. So, so where would you slot them? I
So
guess?
that's where it gets tricky, right? Because as we all use, I should clarify. I think my frustration is more with. I think the term boutique has been kind of bastardized, like the word organic.
I assume
agree
that
with
you're...
what your overall point of the take is for sure.
But-
because any Joe Schmo can come off the
Yeah.
street these days and create their own cigar brand and go work with some factory
Yeah.
that nobody's ever heard of and buy
So-
5,000 cigars, and now they think they're a boutique brand.
So let me ask you this. Let's pick a Joe Schmo brand that we're not going to get any flack on. Can you think of any? I can't.
Joe Schmo band, that's what?
A boutique
Let's
brand.
go Lure Cigars.
Okay. Great cigars, actually.
Great cigars.
Great cigars.
Great
Yeah,
cigars.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out Lure. Don't
So-
sell them, but they stop by and
Yeah.
we've smoked them. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
So you know I like Foundation.
Yep.
Bearing that in mind, what does Foundation do differently from Laura that makes them more boutique?
I think that's a tough question to answer because I can't get in the head or see what each one does on a daily basis
Yeah.
and how involved each one is in what tobaccos get used.
Yeah, I think Foundation's also a tough example because we all know how good of a blender Nick is. And, like, Nick's not going down and working with AJ's blender and telling AJ's blender what he wants
Yeah.
to taste. Nick is actually blending the cigar because he knows the tobaccos. I feel like Kyle might actually be a good example of this because although Kyle knows tobacco really well too, so
I
he
mean,
may
he's
be
down there
blending, I don't know.
picking-
Whereas, like, the Lure guys,
They
no
probably
offense to
said,
them, they're just working with a master blender at whatever
Yeah.
factory
Right,
they're
right.
working
Yeah.
out
Here's
of.
what I want. Give me some examples.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So do you think being hands-on and blending makes you a boutique brand?
I think it makes you more boutique-y and more craft.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Well,
Because
I
like
mean,
I can't take and I don't even think Foundation's boutique anymore. I think they're too big to be boutique.
So
personally.
that's what I was going to say. There's a point for which your sales, and I don't know what point that is, how many boxes you move,
Yeah.
but there's a certain point where you reach a certain amount of market attrition and popularity that suggests that
Yeah.
you're no longer boutique. You may not be mainstream,
Yeah.
but you've broken.
So-
I think
tell you what.
I think anybody who is quote unquote boutique ultimately wants to grow out of that moniker. It's not a badge
Yeah.
of, it's not a scarlet letter to be boutique, but I think they all want to grow out
Because
of that. Like,
realistically, if we're talking boutique brands that have their own factories, Romacraft,
yeah, great example of a boutique
great,
brand.
yes,
Yeah.
Romacraft fits your definition of boutique.
They will
perfectly.
not make more cigars, even though they could, because they want to emphasize quality.
Dude, that
over
does feel like if you were
quality.
looking at boutique cigars,
That is the
dictionary,
definition,
That is
yeah.
the definition, sure.
Caldwell has his own factory,
No, we work through primarily Ventura.
so
Really?
you're you consider yourself a boutique brand, but you don't have your own factory.
I don't really consider us a boutique brand. Like, we're a smaller brand. So here's the thing, right? My frustration.
So
is,
I have one example I want to put out there because I can do it, but you can't. I do not think Viaje is boutique anymore. I think Viaje is.
I think they're in its own structure.
Yes,
I
I
think
think.
that he almost created.
Yes, Viaje is more in the realm of monthly cigar company than anything at this
A
point.
cigar
So-
drop.
And I
kind
feel
of.
like that, knowing you and everything, I know you were not going to say you agree with me or not, but I feel like this is one of the companies that probably bears the frustration of what you're talking about. Like, Viaje used to be very smart and creative with packaging and everything like that, but now, even though we still love them, they're very much just recycling old ideas, pumping out some cigars that are a little substandard to what they used to be, or less lackluster, and just banking on the idea of, hey, I've got zombies, shotgun shells, whatever, in the Halloween full moons, in the hopper here. This one may not sell, but I know those will, so it'll keep people happy.
So I think it's worth retracting and editing. I don't care who's boutique and who's not. I'll smoke whatever cigar is good. I'm more annoyed that there's no clear definition of what a boutique is, and I don't claim to know, but it's so subjective, right? So, how many cigars can you sell before you're no longer boutique? Does blending make it not a boutique, or does manufacturing make it not a boutique? And so, like, again, like the word organic in food, it doesn't actually mean what it used to.
Right.
Now, to be fair, I think it was always a bit subjective, but I think it's become like a.
And I also think you're pushing
marketing
back
term.
more on the idea of just because you only have 500 boxes of something and you advertise yourself as boutique and you try to elevate yourself up with brands that maybe we do generally consider boutique, that just doesn't make you boutique just because you do a run of 500 boxes of whatever.
Yeah, like, to me, not as a consumer, but on my side of things, we internally call ourselves boutique mainly in the conversation of, like, who are we competing with,
Right.
right? It's like, we're not defining what it means, but we all kind of have an idea of, like, what brands come to mind when you think about that, though. And so we use it in that kind of way. But as far as, like, marketing goes, so I don't really see the value in it.
I think you and I both, because you and I got into the industry at about the same time, but we're smoking before we got into the industry, right? Mm-hmm. You and I came into the industry in what a lot of people refer to as the boutique boom.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those companies were boutique and should be considered boutique. But the thing about boutique brands, and there's only one exception that I can think of, and that's Romacraft, is that boutique brands...
Tatuaje boutique or not?
No, I don't think so. They want to stay they don't want to stay boutique, right? Like, the whole point of starting a business is growing the business and not being boutique anymore. So, like, when you think of the boutique boom, those companies are either gone and ended because they weren't successful, or they're so big to the point now where they're not boutique anymore. Like, my father was considered boutique at one point. My father is not boutique anymore.
No,
right?
No, they're about
right. Like,
as
Tatuaje
mainstream
is
as
borderline, but I don't consider Tatuaje boutique anymore. Foundation's the same way, right? Like, I feel like we've just that word does get thrown around a lot, and I agree with you. But I also feel like we're coming from the standpoint of, like, we saw it, we lived it, we sold it, we smoked it. It ain't what it used to be.
Yeah. And there's a post-COVID quality drop off too that we're climbing back from as an industry, and it's across the board. Like, during the rush, everyone couldn't make cigars fast enough, and so there were just a lot more issues. And it's better now, but it wasn't what it was in 2018.
No, I totally agree. There's a peak COVID issue of quality control because of the demand. Like, there was a huge demand. Ethan and I can fully attest to that. All of 2020 when it first hit was kind of, okay, like, we got to work our way through this. We had to close the store here and there, stuff like that. 21 and 22, but 21 specifically, like, was full on masking and social distancing and staying at home and working from home. The demand was so high that cigar companies were pumping things out at such a rate.
This is almost like your argument of if everything's limited, then nothing's limited.
Sure.
I feel like we're on the same level, like playing field here right now.
But by the same token, anything that doesn't do well is limited, and if it does well, it's never limited.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
That's true. I mean,
So, question for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your wine and beer sales, did they go up at a similar rate as cigars during COVID?
From a percentage standpoint, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Beer, not as much, because I'll kind of tell
I would actually
you.
argue beer went down. Now, I don't
And
know the
we
numbers.
can go back and look. I mean, it would be easy for us to.
And I'll
feel.
say why in a minute.
Okay. But my biggest thing is, and we carry beer at the stores. It's in the name, but beer reached craft beer.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with overall beer sales in the United States. Craft beer reached a level of fatigue, at least in our area, that inhibited sales. Like there was a level of consumer oversupply. And then the big thing was, from my opinion as an owner, is, we used to be a place that you could only get certain things, right? If you wanted this double IPA or Imperial Stout,
Hell, even when you just wanted Pernicious, you
or
had
just
to go to
you just wanted Wicked Weed, or you just wanted Bell's or
Founders.
Founders or Foothills. Even in our area, you had to come to somebody like us. The boom of craft beer was not lost on large retail. So grocery stores entered that market, and grocery stores are very much known for letting alcohol, specifically beer, be a loss leader. So there's a million instances where you can go in and buy a case of beer that's quote unquote craft beer, and you can buy it from the grocery store shelf for at or sometimes even lower than the price that we buy it from distribution, because they use that as a loss leader in the store to draw people in to buy their other higher margin products. Because grocery stores historically have super tight margins.
I would love to see the data behind why they do that.
Because
like, if it took up minimal room, it'd be one thing. But with how much room they dedicate to a loss leader as a segment, clearly the numbers work out in their favor.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm fascinated by what would that be though?
But historically, grocery store margins are like 3%.
Yeah.
They're really, really, really low. It's a volume play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have to. There's always a race to the bottom, right? Because if you're Harris Teeter, you're Lowe's Foods. If Harris Teeter sells Wheaties for 50 cents less, you need to come down and be competitive, and it starts fluctuating to a point for which you can't go any lower, and that's where it settles, and it becomes a margin play.
Do you think that following the grocery store model of like VIP club, you save 5%, whatever, would be a worthwhile thing in our space?
Well, we do it, to be honest with you. We have a loyalty program, call it, no different than the loyalty card you get at Harris Teeter and everything like that. It's just distributed in a different way.
Yeah.
So the craft beer point I wanted to make is I feel like COVID was the death of craft beer. And what I mean by that is because grocery stores got it, it wasn't craft anymore. It almost goes back to the boutique cigar kind of thing. Like, what's the definition of craft beer? Is it volume? Is it availability? Or is it pricing, right? Like, and if you can get craft beer at a grocery store and they make a lot of it and it's cheap, is it still craft?
Right.
Because, like, Pernicious is still one of the best IPAs out there, and I would consider Pernicious a craft beer, but it's a large-scale craft beer, right? But if you look up, like, okay, now craft beer's not owned by a big beer conglomerate. Well, guess what? That means Yuengling is the largest craft brewery in America.
Right.
And most people aren't going to consider Yuengling a craft beer, although I love Yuengling.
That's right.
Right? So it goes back to the definitions, right, of like, what's your definition of craft beer? What's your definition of boutique cigar? But because you could get it in grocery stores, people are trying to make the least amount of stops as possible. They started buying their beer at grocery stores. So your milkshake sour IPA, your big barrel aged stout that wasn't already in grocery store, people quit drinking them. People got away from them,
Yeah.
and they never came back to them.
I found out recently in Maryland, grocery stores can't sell beer or wine. Blew my mind. You have to go to a
Package store.
dedicated beer or like alcohol store.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, North Carolina does that with liquor, obviously, with spirits. T-Money,
nicest
T-Sizzle.
guy in the
Getting
world,
shout-outs
man.
all day in the pod. And that obviously varies from state to state. That's unique that I don't know of many states where you can't just buy beer at the grocery store. Like where I grew up in Michigan, you can go to a Meijer. So anybody who knows what Meijer is, big grocery store in Michigan, you can get your groceries, you can get a pair of tennis shoes, and a bottle of Evan Williams all at the same place.
Like a Michigan version of Walmart.
It's more grocery centric than that, but yeah. It's as if Harris at Teeter and Target had a baby, you would get a Meijer. Great place, actually. But that you could also get all, you can go walk into Meijer right now, I guarantee you, and buy a bottle of Blanton's for the price that Blanton's is.
Dude, well, when you go back home, I have a favor to ask of you.
Get me, I'd like to know, especially from your perspective, for where you're at in the industry, what you're currently excited about in cigars, okay, and then what you'd like to see. Or something that has come to market, you're like, I really like what they're doing, whether it's a company or a product, you like their direction, what they're doing, and anything like that. And I'll say this, I mean, we both agree, and obviously they had some issues. We continue to appreciate what Foundation does. Like, stylistically, what they're coming out with.
I think as a whole, brands are making an effort to have more nuanced profiles and not be bold in one way or the other. I think there's a resurgence of like aiming for complexity that I appreciate, which is, in large part due to a lot of the boutique brands out there, right? Foundation being a good example. We certainly try Illusione, huge fan. So I like that. What I would like to see, what I never want to see again is I don't want to see a box of cigars that has one different cigar in it.
Oh, really? Shout out my father.
I love my father, but I don't understand it.
Who else has done that before? I know they've
Placencia with the Year of the Snake.
No, I forgot about that.
Love Davidoff. But the Anniversario #1 had one cigar that came in a tube, which, to be fair, that was a revival series, and it is accurate to what it was like in the original release. Don't know why they did it then either, but there was one cigar that came in a tube, the rest were just in cellophane.
I don't hate it. I think it's kind of cool.
That blows my mind.
I don't hate it. So I do think you run the risk of, obviously, so most recently we got JJ's 20th anniversary, which shocks me that that's been around that long. The others, the core box was Habanos? Corojo. And then there was a Salomon Maduro loan in the coffin in the box. You do run the risk of, if there's not widely accepted that the core cigar that you made was any good.
Yeah.
But the one loaned one was awesome. Then you're like, oh man, we got 5 of those cigars, bro.
Yeah. So I'm shocked that you're more accepting of it as the proprietor.
Well,
but
here's what I would say, real quick.
I'm shocked.
We sold them all, so that's the most important thing to me. Like every last one of them, somebody grabbed it immediately. So when it sells, I have no objection to it. Now, if it was sitting around, I probably have a different opinion of it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What else would I like to? What was your question? Like, what do I want to see less of?
Well, no, not necessarily, but like, is there something? Like, give me a cigar trend outside of the
10
one
count
cigar, because I
boxes.
wouldn't.
10 count boxes.
You'd like to see more 10 count boxes?
Yeah.
Could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of them now. We're leaning heavily into it. I think as prices go up, it is a no-brainer. Love to see it becoming a more mainstay thing.
I like we are 100% on the same page with that. Doesn't take up any more space.
No.
Okay. In some cases, may take up less space. And it just promotes the purchase of up to 10 cigars more.
Yeah.
When you, especially if you're offering a quote unquote box discount, if you consider 10 a box, no matter what.
Yeah. And like for us, we're trying something a little bit different, and it's counterintuitive, but like at Caldwell events, we prioritize buy 10 cigars deal
Yep.
rather than trying to push everyone up to 20. Because I think the market is not as responsive to a traditional event as it used to be, for one thing. And as prices go up, people don't want to buy 20 cigars, especially of the same one as often anymore.
Yeah.
And I think we're having a ton of luck pushing the buy 10, get whatever deal now. People buy a 10 count box, they have that gratification of it. It's not necessarily more affordable, especially if you look at it on a like per stick price point, but there is a sense of pride in buying a box, right?
Yeah. That's,
And
yeah.
buying a 10 count box, people enjoy that. They get a really good deal out of it. So
Comes with a free Caldwell hat or T-shirt.
we tried something different we did a cigar festival recently, and we skipped swag altogether
Okay.
and just did cigar giveaways. It was buy 20 and get 7 free.
Oh wow.
People loved it. And I think that is going to be a mainstay for us
Well,
moving forward.
I like that.
I can't disagree with that. That's a lot more cigars free than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
It feels like 20 is like a 5-pack or 3.
Normally
Yeah,
you get 5
unless-
plus something else, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Unless you're doing an event exclusive cigar, like Foundation's new event cigar, or like Tatuaje Pumpkins, and you're only going to get 3 of them, but it's like a different cigar that you can only get if you're buying it at an event, and it's a good cigar.
And
I think more cigars is better.
yeah, and for us, we haven't ventured into that yet. But what we do is we want to give you cigars that you're not buying. Try a bigger variety, right?
Yeah.
And
Smart.
so, we haven't experienced it, but you run the risk of the retailer going, "Oh, you're giving away too many cigars. We're not going to come back and buy more." It's like, well, it's either that or I give them a cutter, and now they're not going to buy a cutter from you. So pick your poison.
Right.
Yeah. So I've got another question about cigars for this year, in your opinion, because I've been chewing on this. We're halfway through the year. I'm curious of your opinion too, Jason.
Okay.
We're halfway through the year. How does this year's new cigar releases compare to years past? Better or worse?
Ooh.
What were some new ones that came out this year?
My Father Blue. was a
Blue,
big one.
Legacy, the
Legacy.
7th Corojo, Maduro, Decenio.
Decenio.
Which one is Decennia? Oh,
That's the
AJ
10-year
New World
AJ
10th
New World.
anniversary.
I am now realizing I haven't really tried a lot of the new cigars this year. Last year was a really good year for new cigars. I don't
thought-
remember what came out, but I remember thinking this is a good year for new
I
cigars.
thought last year was a good year for cigar releases, but I'll reiterate something that I think just by happenstance almost kind of got listened to for this year, which is I appreciate that a lot of the new cigars this year, not only are they good, but they're core release cigars.
Oh, not as many
I'm
limited
here
editions.
for some limited editions. 2024 was the year of limited editions, from the line unions, from
Legacy.
the
Or not Legacy.
the legends.
Legends, thank you.
Oh my god!
The AJ
Yeah, I forgot about that.
20th. Was it 20th? Was AJ or 25th?
Yeah,
Whatever
AJ
that was. I
20th,
apologize.
20th,
Which was a
20th.
great cigar. We love that cigar. We gave it our cigar of the year. We preach on a couple podcasts is how we thought that there needed to be a reinvigoration on people and what their dedication to their core products that are bought every day is. Now the core products that have come in recently that are coming out of the show that were introduced have been hits for us at least. Decenio has been a hit. My Father Blue has been a hit, and Perdomo Legacy has absolutely been a hit with Perdomo smokers.
I think the releases this year felt more intentional. I can't tell you why, but maybe it's just I didn't hear about as many new ones this year. But it didn't feel like brands were like, oh, we need to make X amount of new things this year. Just make whatever, name it whatever. It felt more like brands had specific ones that they wanted to release and focus on.
And I think generally, if you're releasing something that's quote unquote core, not some sort of 2,500 box limited, it doesn't quite get the same fanfare from like the enthusiast, the cigar enthusiast, cigar geek that like maybe a Tatawahe 1,000 box release might get or something like that.
I really want to do a Caldwell limited edition. 50,000 boxes made. 50,000. Only 50,000 boxes made.
Yeah, every account gets 1,000 boxes.
So I'm of the opinion that the cigars this year have been the best they've been in a long time.
I'm gonna agree with you. And
That's why I was asking.
And it's certainly top heavy.
Yeah, and we're looking at it from a very small sample size of just our
Just
stores.
what we carry, yeah.
But
And even DeCilio from Placencia was good.
last year, there was a pretty clear cigar that was above the rest. There were some other very good cigars, like Cocodrilo was very good,
Yep.
Sarto was very good. But this year, the pricing's been good. The core line aspect of it's been good, but I also think the quality of them has been very, very good. Like, I haven't smoked many new cigars that we've gotten in this year and thought to myself, I don't really care for this. I've smoked more where I've said, wow, this is good, if not great.
Yeah.
And one or two that I'm like, this is cigar of the year for everybody, not just us, but like, if this doesn't make a ton of lists, I will be shocked.
Do you guys think there was a turning point where brands decided they need to jump on the whole limited edition train? Because for the past few years, it was a pretty heavy push.
For
What
two consecutive
started
years.
that?
I mean, maybe, certainly there's probably companies who had reasons to do a limited edition. Like you can, you do your 25th in the 25th year. Now we had some companies delivering birthday cigars 3 years after the birthday happened and stuff like that.
Wait, who?
How late was the Pete Johnson 50th?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that came out this year, and he's 55 in December.
I forgot about that.
So there you go. There you
51st.
Yeah. Is Pete really 55?
He'll be 55 in December, yeah.
Good on him, man.
Oh, that's wild.
It is wild.
Yeah, I think the limited thing, I think it was two things. I think one was greed, because I think people started charging a little bit more for limiteds, and companies saw that those cigars were selling, so they're like, well, we can do it, and we can charge $5 more, right? I think Legends had a little bit to do with that, but I do think it was that. And then the second thing is I do think that during COVID, I think a part of it may have been necessity.
That's what I was just going to harp on, which I think is during COVID, there was a absence of product, and you needed to fill the void. It was easier to fill it with a limited because you could find an anniversary, you could find a birthday, you could find something to commemorate the limited edition when maybe,
Especially when the factories weren't at full capacity.
right. So like you could do more with less,
Yeah.
because you could charge a little bit more
Yeah.
and maybe make the same revenue on fewer pieces going out.
Yeah. So, what you just said, if I were to change my one thing I want to see change in the industry, we have too many anniversaries. we have too many special occasions.
Well, and so many companies started during booms of the cigar business that it's like, there's 25 companies having their 25th anniversary in the same year. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Like we just, I'm all for celebrating in general. I'm all
Big
for
celebration guy.
I'm all for celebrating
celebration guy.
milestones. I think we, as an industry, we have a tendency of like going out of our way to find an excuse to celebrate something.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
So,
I think that goes to that point, which was I think they're maybe grabbing at things that they could celebrate to be able to push that product out.
like, there's one brand, and I won't say who, but I'm gonna say what the celebration was, and people who know will know.
Oh, I already know. Right? I can go ahead.
The 500th
Oh no.
anniversary,
Oh, I know what you're talking
and in
about.
fine print, of the founding of Habana, Cuba.
I don't know who this is.
And it's like,
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
yeah, but it's like, can we like just make a good cigar and tell everyone why it's a good cigar? Like, we don't need to grasp at straws to add a story as to why this is a good
Well,
cigar.
I mean, shout out Andre. We got the
Yeah,
what did we get? The 17 and a half.
15 plus 2.5.
15 plus 2.5 anniversary cigar this year.
And I love Viaje, but I hate that. I hate that.
Well, wait till we start talking about
I
the packaging and the most recent
love
one that came around and everything.
Oh, is that the one with the glass on the back of it?
There's no glass.
There's no glass.
Wasn't there supposed
No, it's
to be?
just a hole, man. We couldn't even make it into a fish tank.
Oh, it's to circulate the cool air.
Sure.
It's on the back, bro. You can't see the cigars. It's on the back of the box.
At least they could have made it like a cigarette dispenser, and it would have been cool.
Yeah, put one of those like straws. You know when you're thinking, you
Yeah,
push it
that's
down,
what
the
I'm
cigar
saying.
pops out. Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
But you know,
That'd be cool.
actually write that down. We're gonna
That
keep
could
it.
be that could be a market for people who want to smoke a random cigar out of the humidor without picking what it is.
So we used to do this thing that we called the cigar roulette, and Jason had a note list on his phone, and he put, I think it was about 50 cigars on there.
There's about 50
that all had numbers on them, but it was everything from acid blondies to Trader Jacks to Padron 45ths and everything in between. It was like we just went around the humidor, and he just made this list
Kind
together.
of like the Wheel of Destiny, you know?
Yeah, so whenever we didn't know what we'd want to smoke, he'd pull out the list, and we'd pick a number. I smoked a Blondie one time. I smoked a Trader Jack one time. But I also think I got to smoke a Padron 45th one time. It was a lot of fun.
We should
Except
bring
for
that
when I
back.
smoked a Trader Jack. Actually, I think I like the Trader Jack more than the Blondie. I will say that. Can't do that.
Oh, interesting.
That is saying a lot.
I can't.
That
do
is a hot
acids,
take.
Man. I just hate the. I hate
Where do you fall on flavored cigars?
I don't mind them.
Does Caldwell make one or no?
No, we dabbled with a sweet tip before, but we discontinued that.
Was it called Just the Tip?
Just the Tipton.
Just the Tipton, that's right.
No, we dabbled in it. As a whole, I don't have a strong opinion on it. I think it's good for the industry to have it. There are ones that I enjoy. I can't think of any. The most enjoyable flavored cigar to me, it's a throwback, is the Brulee. The Sombra Mesa Brulee. Guys, you went full circle.
That's a great spot to end this podcast right there.
Yeah, we do have one more question though.
right.
Before we end, we need your nominee. This is going to be the very
So
first.
that's how we'll wrap it up.
The very first Stogie Award nominee for 2025, and
Yeah.
we have tasked you with giving us a nominee for who will take the mantle as the Revolving Door Rep Award.
And keep in mind, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you couldn't win this cigar again, or this award again, if you try hard.
There are some positions
Nah,
open
man,
right
I'm,
now.
I'm going
Yeah,
for I'm going for
Are
heavyweight
you
this
interested
year.
in Perdomo or
Plasencia?
I think I'm okay. I do like the guys at Plasencia a lot, but I'm very happy where I am. Although I was happy at Davidoff too, so I guess that doesn't really hold a lot of weight.
See, the door is already open, boys.
Good Lord.
My nominee, I gotta go with the industry sweetheart, Zev Kalamanemeski.
So Zev is our first official. Zev is currently at
Kamenetsky?
EPC.
EPC.
What's his last name? Kamenetsky?
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky.
Kamenetsky.
Sure.
When he wins the award, probably we'll get the correct
Dude.
pronunciation of his last name.
Zev is a prime example of, he is a delight every time I see him.
Yeah.
But I never run into the guy. Our schedules never synced up.
He comes in,
I never.
let's say every like 6-8 weeks, somewhere
Yeah,
around
yeah,
there.
yeah.
No, I'm not saying this. Like he clearly travels.
Yeah.
Our schedules have never synced. Whereas like Ed Bowles, for like 2 years, we would see each other once a month. Completely unplanned.
Yep. I will say real quick
Completely unplanned.
before I comment on your Zev thing, the one rep that always says he never sees other reps is Mark with Esteban. But I've decided that's because Mark says he travels,
But actually doesn't.
but actually doesn't.
Shout out, Mark.
If he listens to this, he's
Esteban
gonna
Carrera
smack me.
Cigars, boutique or not boutique? Owns a factory.
I think they're boutique.
I'd say they're boutique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd go boutique there.
I'm nothing if not fair. They're boutique.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. We've got our first nominee for the Stogie Awards. Appreciate you coming on, Mr. Kleckner. First time, but probably not the last time. You live
Yeah.
very close to here, so we can have you on
close.
at a whim. Maybe even substitute out as a host sometime. You know, maybe a special.
Oh, hell
you know,
yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel takes the summer off,
That's
and then
right.
the celebrities host the
I
show.
think I'd be a
I
good
think-
host. I'm
You
not
think
sure.
so?
I'm not sure of what, but I think there's something out there that could be a good host.
Maybe we
of.
could have an offshoot. Like maybe we will have a set. We'll have a whole podcast network. If you think of an idea that you want to
But
pod
we
about.
could just deny any accusations that I'm not Jason Tipton.
It's like Jim on The Office.
Yeah.
It's Asian Jim.
It's Asian.
You're Asian
I-
Jason.
I need a photo with Danielle and Harper.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right.
Hey,
Appreciate
man,
you coming
this
out.
camera. This camera.
This camera.
Tell the people what you got
Shout
going
out,
on.
hey, shout out T Money. T, come over here real quick.
T Money.
T, if you saw his hand,
The hand producer.
yeah, throw your face in the camera.
What's
real
up,
quick.
everybody?
The nicest guy in the world.
The nicest guy in
Stogie
the world.
Award winner.
T-Dog,
We're
come see
giving
him
it to him this year.
Anytime you want. If you saw his hand coming in and out,
He may
that
win the
was-
Lifetime Award. We're going to go out a Lifetime Award this year.
He could win a Lifetime Achievement Award. That's right. That's right.
that's right.
Second nominee for a Stogie.
That's right.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
E, we're
As
doing
always.
it again soon. Thanks to everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yeah, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars and a mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.